Mother from Prince George's County is horrified. She says her daughter was touched inappropriately at school and administrators never told her. Now, a teacher allegedly saw it happen and in messages to the mom said she should have been notified. Now, this is a story you'll see only on the News at 11 tonight. Here's Hillary Lane.
It's like I'm by myself fighting this, and I keep getting passed around like a silly piece of paper. I'm not even suing. I don't even have a lawyer. I just want answers.
This mom is furious. She says her 7-year-old daughter was touched inappropriately by a classmate. The school system confirms it happened back on May 7th at Andrew Jackson Academy in Prince George's County. The problem? The school never told her about it. She's asked us to conceal her identity.
Why didn't they tell me? Why couldn't they tell me? Why is it being swept under the rug?
Mom says the night after this happened, her daughter was clingy, restless, and having nightmares.
What exactly did your daughter say?
My daughter said, "Mommy, he touched me on my butt. I told him to stop, but he just wouldn't listen."
Mom was really upset it happened and horrified she was left in the dark. She texted her daughter's teacher the next day asking him what had happened. In the message, the teacher confirming that another student touched her. He wrote, "I demanded to have a conference with the administration and the scholar's parents to discuss his behavior. In situations such as this, the administration is supposed to notify the parties involved in the incident."
So the school never told you that this happened?
No. No, they did not.
Not a phone call?
No, I had to contact them on everything.
A school district spokesperson tells us they thought the touch was accidental and therefore notifying a parent was not necessary. The spokesperson also said that because the students involved were so young, it is not their policy to call Child Protective Services.
They completely failed my daughter.
The school did offer counseling services for her daughter. According to the district, the boy was disciplined and was moved to another class. Mom says she's speaking out now because she wants the school district's policies changed.
But there hasn't been any follow-up in regards to what is going to be done to ensure the safety of the remainder of the students. So it's not like I'm just fighting for my child. I'm fighting for all the other kids that's been through this. And maybe some adults too that's been through this and didn't have nobody to fight for them.
So we wanted to know, are there more cases of inappropriate behavior involving students in the district where parents were not notified? It's hard for us to figure out because of student privacy laws, but we did ask Prince George's County school officials. We were told by a spokesperson that the school doesn't keep track of that type of data and is not required to report it to the state. We've reached out to the State Department of Education for clarification, and we'll keep you updated.
Now, experts suggest keeping an open dialogue with your child, asking them every day about anything that might have happened in school. Now, if your child does tell you they've been touched inappropriately, we've got information on what to do next from experts on our WUSA 9 mobile app and website.
New at 11 tonight, more trouble for alumni of Prince George's County high schools. Earlier this week on the News at 11, we told you about 3 students who couldn't walk in their graduation because of a school mistake. Now a former student says another mistake by the school district forced him to put his college plans on hold. Here's Hillary Lane.
Angelo Collington has great memories from his senior year, all culminating in the best moment of all, receiving his diploma from Parkdale High School in Riverdale back in 2010. He was ready to take on the world.
So I wanted to take psychology and my Juris Doctorate and kind of be a community advocate with that.
He spent some time working and then signed up for online classes at the University of Maryland University College in 2015. After his second semester, in order to continue his college education, he needed to provide UMUC with his transcripts to prove that he graduated high school. He called the district's records office for a copy and was told,
"You didn't graduate."
You have a diploma that shows that you graduated.
Correct. I even have a letter saying I graduated.
This letter from Parkdale's principal, dated December 2009, reads that Collington has completed the requirement and has now earned the status of high school completer. But the transcripts he requested from the school and received 7 years later indicate that he has not graduated.
Very ludicrous.
In July of 2016, Collington received a letter from UMUC that stated he would be barred from further enrollment until those documents are received. His dreams of going to law school put on hold. He now works an entry-level job, but without a college education, he worries about supporting his family.
I have a child. I have a fiance who got to see it for a wedding.
So what exactly went wrong here? We asked the Prince George's County school system, and they pointed to a state audit from last year that found widespread record-keeping issues, allowing students to graduate that did not meet graduation requirements. Collington insists he has met all requirements, though. He's now caught in the middle of all this and says he's out of options as he continues to put his future dreams on hold.
It's been very stressful, needless to say, very stressful.
According to a Prince George's County school spokesman, the district is working on digitizing all of their records, which they say will help ensure this doesn't happen again. As for Collington, we pushed the district, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot they can do 8 years after he received that diploma. We are reaching out to the State Department of Education. We'll keep you updated. Leslie.
That is quite a situation. Now, we've heard more students maybe in that same position, receiving a diploma and then being told later that they didn't graduate. If this happened to you, we want to hear from you. Get in touch through the WUSA 9 Facebook page or tweet us. All right, Top, the first of 2 education stories we have for you is one you'll only see on WUSA 9 tonight. An entire 7th grade class at a public charter school will not get credit for their social studies class. The school calls it a mishap. The students will have to take a 5-week makeup course to get credit. Hillary Lane broke this story for us.
Each year is a special year, and I feel as though I did all my research. I figured that the school is about excellence.
But this emotional mom says the education her daughter received at Imagine Foundations at Morningside was anything but. She's asked us to conceal her identity. Let's go back to February of this year. Her student, an 8th grader, received a rejection letter from the county's specialized high school program. The letter cites insufficient grade data. Her child was heartbroken. Mom was confused. So she pulled out her daughter's 7th grade report cards and noticed something was off.
I saw that social studies, world geography, there was no teacher name listed, and a question mark.
Every other class, her student was given a grade, but a question mark for social studies.
I didn't catch it.
Until this mom says it was too late.
And no one told you.
She says she believes the social studies teacher had left a few weeks into the school year, and the substitutes weren't qualified to teach the class, so they couldn't enter grades into the system. The school has not confirmed this. The school finally does acknowledge the issue this past April, a full school year later, when the now 7th graders are almost done with 8th grade. An email from the school says
Administration is aware of this mishap.
They call it a mishap.
It's insane.
We did reach out to Imagine Foundations at Morningside. They say this is a complete miscommunication between the school's former principal and Prince George's County Public School District. They went on to say social studies was incorporated with reading and writing instruction. As a result, the district was unable to issue a grade for social studies. For students who want a grade, the school says they are now offering a 5-week makeup course.
I think it's ridiculous.
What do you want done?
I can't go back in time.
She says the makeup course won't help her daughter get into the high school program that could have given her a leg up for college. So who provides oversight over charter schools? It's the Maryland Department of Education. We have reached out to them to see if they're aware of the issue and to see if there's any action they plan on taking. We'll keep you posted.
Now at 6, WUSA 9 has learned 7 elementary school students in Prince George's County were medically treated after slitting their wrists with blades from pencil sharpeners. This happened right before spring break, according to school officials. Now parents at William Packer Elementary School, they're upset. Why did this happen? And why wasn't the entire school community notified? Many parents only heard about it from our reporting. WUSA 9's Hillary Lane broke the story on WUSA9.com this morning. She's got more right now from Lando.
These are elementary school kids we're talking about, kids between the ages of 5 and 10 who use tools to take a blade out of a pencil sharpener to cut their wrists during the school day.
It's very shocking, you know. I wouldn't expect that from a young child.
I mean, it's upsetting.
According to district officials, all 7 William Packer Elementary School students are okay. Their wounds were treated by a school nurse and were not deep enough to call 911. A crisis counseling team was brought in to work with students and their families. This happened right before spring break. Beyond the parents of those 7 kids involved, involved. Other parents at the school say they're upset they were never told about the incident by the school district.
I have a 6-year-old, so like I said, I don't know. I'm just finding out, so need to go see and make sure if he all right.
Makes me want to take her out. take her out of the school. PG County Public Schools, period.
They did get letters explaining that the specific pencil sharpeners used in the incident were banned, but they tell us they didn't know why. And there's still a lot we do not know. Why would the kids do this? Was it some type of game? Were they being bullied? Was it a call for help? Again, those answers the school district will not give us. And a lot of you today on Facebook asking, how did kids even learn how to do this? Well, there are videos out there that teach kids how to pull a blade out of a pencil sharpener. And there are popular movies and shows that depict this kind of behavior. In Landover, Hillary Lane, WUSA 9.
New at 6, Prince George's County Schools is investigating after a teacher and principal got into an altercation during recess in front of students, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Police and an ambulance were called to Ardmore Elementary School. Hillary Lane broke the story on WUSA9.com earlier today and has more from Springdale, Maryland.
We're sorting through all the details, but what we know right now is both the principal and teacher here at Ardmore Elementary School who were involved in that altercation have been put on leave. That is protocol while an investigation is underway. Let's go back to Tuesday, June 12th. Police say they were called to the school for a report of a disorderly teacher. According to the school district, a teacher and principal were allegedly involved in some type of altercation during recess, and elementary school kids were there and saw the whole thing. Police and an ambulance were called to the school, but the police nor the district will tell us if this was solely a verbal argument or if things turned physical. They also will not tell us what the two were arguing about. Authorities say no one was hurt and no charges were filed. Here's what's making some parents upset. It wasn't until 1 week after the incident, on Monday, June 18th, the district sent this letter home to parents. This is also the day WUSA 9 began asking questions about the incident. A mom at school wrote on Facebook, despite dozens of calls from parents inquiring about what their children witnessed, no one seems to care about the appropriate trauma responses needed for the kids. A spokesman for the school district says they waited to send a letter home because they only realized later that students witnessed the event after looking at another surveillance camera angle. In a letter to parents, the district says that school counselors are available and teachers are willing to answer any questions or concerns students may have after witnessing the incident. In Prince George's County, Hillary Lane, WUSA 9.
The principal involved has been identified as Georgette Gregory. The identity of the teacher involved has not been revealed.
Also in Prince George's County, a veteran elementary school teacher accusing a principal of physically assaulting her at school in front of the students. Now today, we learned the teacher is getting ready to sue the school district. Now both the teacher and the principal have been put on leave while the school investigates the incident that happened 2 weeks ago. Our Hillary Lane first broke the story last week. She has an update from Springdale.
Prince George's County public school principal, sitting public school principal, viciously attacked, unprovoked, a seasoned veteran of the school system.
Sunil Crutchfield, a teacher at Ardmore Elementary School, along with her lawyer, describing what they say is 5 years of bullying and harassment by Principal Georgette Gregory. It all culminated in a fight outside the school. According to the district, both the police and the ambulance were called to the school. Crutchfield says it began when she didn't follow a directive that was emailed to the staff from Principal Gregory. Crutchfield says she didn't get the email. Principal Gregory was furious.
So when she saw Miss Crutchfield from across the parking lot, she yelled out to her. And she was like, you know what I'm talking about, B.
The teacher involved and her legal team say that vicious attack happened right here in the school's parking lot, and kids were just a few feet away over here in the playground. The teacher says the principal started walking towards her, calling her derogatory names, and once she reached the teacher, she started throwing her chest at her multiple times. The teacher said she started yelling, and it was the principal's secretary that heard. The teacher says the secretary ran out and had to restrain the principal, and the teacher was taken to the hospital. Crutchfield says she was taken away in an ambulance for high blood pressure, and her arm was put in the sling. The school district says there are cameras that caught the confrontation. They say they're investigating. 10 days later, Crutchfield was granted a restraining order against Principal Gregory. Crutchfield says she became a target years ago, ever since she became the union rep and began bringing other teachers' complaints against Principal Gregory in front of the union. We reached out to Prince George's County Schools. All they would say is the school system is listening to both parties as part of this investigation. 2 weeks later, both Principal Gregory and Ms. Crutchfield remain on administrative leave. Hillary Lane, WUSA 9.